One, two, three. Hello,
Oh,
hello.
hey.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to the
Hello,
One
hello.
Podcast. Thank you for being on today, Don. It's a pleasure to finally see you again after your last
Sure thing. Yeah.
So today we're talking about 7 different things. This is what my show is about. It's about overall
Okay.
wellness from emotional, financial, physical, spiritual, environmental, social, and fun. So today you're bringing us a
Wow.
super fun topic, and we can't wait to hear about your journey. So tell me about your journey into the comedian world,
Hmm.
or or a little
Um,
background of yourself before you got here.
okay. I don't know how far you want to go back. I was a bedwetter as a kid.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Too far. I grew up in Fresno, California, and I went to college in LA,
Mhm.
and I just ended up, I was in business school and not I was going bankrupt in as a business major. I thought maybe this isn't my thing. So I tried everything else under the sun, and nothing. I was either not great at, or I didn't love, I didn't enjoy. So basically, when I was going through bankruptcy, and I was still a student, I had one more year of college. I just decided that. Um, hey, why don't I expand my list of possibilities of things I could do?
Mhm,
Never remotely considered entertainment. I was
mhm.
shy. I wasn't good in front of people, but
Really?
I knew I was funny. I always loved laughing. I could make people laugh one on one,
Yes.
nonstop. Right. So I decided to give improv a try,
Mhm,
and I ended up loving it. Starting an improv troupe at USC,
mhm.
one that's still going all these years later.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. And yeah, I just fell in love, and I just decided this is what I want to do. I'm broke already, so it can't make me more broke. I had bad credit, can't make my credit worse. Nobody at this moment is relying on me, so I just have to take care of myself. I learned to live very lean,
Mhm.
and I just decided I'm gonna go until people tell me I can't do this,
That's
till
amazing.
I
And
I'm
you were so,
proven I can't make a living.
yeah, you were so young with that idea that I'm going to depend on myself now, and this
Mhm.
thing that I have inside me of making people laugh is truly a gift, Don. Like not everybody has it, and not everybody
Right.
knows the struggles that you had to go through to get to these, moments
Sure.
where you can make fun out of it, because
Sure.
you were stressed out and you were figuring things out, and then
Right.
obviously those become your stories of your sets and things, I'm sure.
Right.
So yeah, so the start of your comedy career clearly came from a hard place, but now you're not at
Yes.
a hard place. So tell me a little bit about the start, maybe the first stage you were on or the city that you were performing.
Oh. Well, the very first time I was in college, I was at USC, and
Mhm.
at the time, Jay Leno was. This is before the Tonight Show, but he was a really famous comedian, right, from all his David Letterman spots.
Yes.
And he had this Cool Ranch flavored Doritos campaign. I don't know if you remember that or not, but he was like this with Cool Ranch flavored Doritos. That was it, right?
You don't
And his
like
tagline was, "What's that?"
you didn't like those Doritos?
No. But yeah, well, I wasn't a fan. But anyways, it was crunch all you want, kids. We'll make more. That was his hook, right?
Hmm.
So I was in college, right? And there's this comedy competition, and I had no idea what I was doing. I had no material. I didn't even know you're supposed to write your own material. I thought you could just like do things you heard other people do, right? So I tried to piece together a couple minutes from, what I'd heard over the years in comics. I was just horrible. I was sweaty. I couldn't breathe.
Mm.
The only thing I remember was my take was try new Cool Ranch flavored condoms. Dump all you want, kids. We'll make more. That was my original joke.
Yeah.
Original, and not proud of it, but that was it. And just was I was just horrible. I just bombed so hard, and I couldn't wait to get back and try it again. So
I guess you're used to like you're okay with bombing in the beginning because you're like I'm still trying my material out, and then you don't
you
know
don't
what
love it,
you don't know you don't know how the criticisms are going to be after you go on even after you go off. People still talk about what they heard, like especially like I had been to your show and there was this line, are you listening, man? Now I get that all the time. My spouse is like,
right?
hey, are you listening?
Right, right.
And you only know the joke if you come to his show. But
Yeah, yeah,
but I think comedy is a journey, and being a
yeah,
creative writer is part of this field. Like you can't if you don't know how to write and make punchlines, it's not going to work out. You have to really study
right.
your material because it's also how you deliver it. Because you'll deliver it very different than I would deliver it because you know your joke. You know how to deliver it in that
Yeah,
time.
you have to find your voice, your style, your pacing, your rhythm, all of that. It's a process, years of trial and error. I mean,
Yeah.
thousands of, 4 or 5 thousand shows maybe, later. I kind of know what works for me and what doesn't. And I
Yeah.
still miss sometimes, but you have a much better idea.
Of course. And the funny thing is too, I mean, the great thing about you too is you can work off the cues of the audience, which I
Mhm.
find it's really neat because not a lot of comedians can do that.
Oh,
It's a gift. It's a gift, honestly. Like the way that you can play off of like someone just getting up out of their seats or just like any moment of the audience that you're just like, okay, I can pick on that. But you're not really
right,
picking on the person, you're just picking on that situation. But
right, right. Oh, you froze. Can you hear me?
good.
You have a
It's a good
There you
sign.
go. You were frozen like,
It's a sign of a good comedian, somebody who
right,
can actually play off the audience and be personable because it's more than just putting on your act. It's also like
right.
who you are as a person.
Yeah, at some point you do this so much that when you're on stage, especially when you're on stage for an hour at a time, right? You become so comfortable that it's just like life, If you would say something spontaneously funny to a person you're sitting next to, it's the same thing as the audience. There's very little separation between who I am on stage and who I am. It's a version of it's the best version of me, I like to think, but it's still like it's just natural at
Yeah,
some point.
yeah. So do you ever get nervous when you go on stage at all? Like, do you get like any nervousness at all now?
No, but when I started I had stage fright so bad, and for years and years I just worked on it and worked on it and worked on it until it got natural.
Hmm.
And now now I don't feel much of anything. If I start to feel anything, I have a thing in my brain where I can just suppress it and like, okay, put that away and just go on. Except
Hmm.
when I'm doing something that's really different and I convince myself that it's really important that I get something right, which is the worst thing ever. But
Yeah.
when you're doing a showcase for something really important,
Hmm.
or uh, if you get in your head, like right before comedy special, I have to like, okay,
Yeah.
just do the thing you always do, but
Exactly.
it creeps up. It's a little harder to put off in the really big shows.
Of
But
course.
the garden variety, 99% of what I do, it's like I don't, I'm just it's another day at work.
Yeah, of course. Do you ever get that feeling of being starstruck, like when you see
Uh
certain comedian or someone?
yeah, sometimes. I met George Carlin briefly once. That was pretty cool. And I've met all kinds of, you know, it's funny because the people, like, I'm constantly meeting people that I have respect for, but I'm not really starstruck. But every once in a while, you'll meet somebody like, okay, for some reason, this guy,
Mm-hmm.
gets me. I mean, I met Martin Short just briefly, and I was starstruck because he's, you know, and it was just right before his show, so we didn't really talk much. But he's one of those guys, like, you know, if I ever meet Dana Carvey,
Mhm.
um, I met Robin Williams once. I was starstruck.
Oh yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I,
See, my friend put me on the spot too. He goes, Robin, you got to meet this guy. He does the best Charles Grodin. I'm like, what? Why you put me on the spot? I'm meeting Robin Williams. Like,
oh,
I don't think that's not a good idea. I mean, he doesn't want to hear about Charles Grodin. He doesn't want to hear it.
right, right, absolutely. So and of course you remember the first time you got on stage.
Yes. Yeah, that was the one I was talking about, the Doritos, yeah, Cool Ranch flavored Doritos comedy competition.
Yes, yes, that was your first time.
Oh God, it was
And
horrible.
since then, you've done so many cool things. You've done comedy competitions. You've won awards, um,
Hmm.
and I see you doing growing because you've done cruise ships, and then you're coming to Yuma, the city
Yeah.
that I'm in, again on
Yeah.
Tuesday weekend, guys. Don't forget, tickets are on sale right now.
I love
So
how you built up to that. You've gotten awards, you've been on TV shows, you're coming to Yuma, like it's really looking up.
it is, it is, it is.
No, we had fun. I had a blast in Yuma. I'm
Yes, I
looking forward
know.
to doing it again.
Yes, and it was a sold out show. So kudos to you. People still tell me about how amazing that was, and
Oh,
I get the opportunity to work with you. I mean, like just be backstage and front stage and figuring
right.
it out together with this new venue that
Yeah.
you're doing. So
Are
it
we at
was
the same venue? We're at a different venue this time?
same venue because it worked out really
Same
well.
venue. Oh, yeah.
Yes, same
Let's not
venue.
reinvent the wheel. That worked great.
Yes, yes, and it just was a perfect setting for a show like yours. Um,
Mhm.
So, like you said, you have different comedic influences. So, who do
Mm.
you say is your biggest comedic influence?
Well, growing up, it's weird to say this now, but Bill Cosby was my biggest influence.
What? I guess back then he was like pretty
Well,
popular.
yeah, up until like my whole life until 10 years ago, like nobody, you know, you didn't even hear whispers of anything until 15 years, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the timeline, but I mean, he was this all-American guy as far as we knew, right? And his comedy was just very broad and likable, and it was great. He's a great comedian, so
Yeah,
uh
and I feel
can't
like
take that away from him.
I think in
But
comedy.
also,
Oh, sorry. Keep
go ahead.
going. Sorry.
No, 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 you go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I'd say also Woody Allen. So I don't know. I know how to pick them, huh?
Yeah.
And Robert Klein coming up. Let's see. Once I started comedy, Brian Regan. I discovered him like when I was already on the road. He was a big influence. Um, I think my biggest influence is actually Monty Python, which is
Okay.
probably sounds weird because they're not comedians, but
Yeah. Yeah.
um, just the sophisticated silliness. They would be absurd one minute, and then they would say something so brilliant that it
Yeah.
would go over your head. But
Yeah.
it just the absurdity and the cleverness and the physicality, all of that combined that's just the whole package.
Absolutely, and it's an art. It's an art when you can time it in such a way that you get them off guard, and then that's the laughter moment.
Right,
Um,
right.
and I think everybody, even if they're a comedian just like you, they all bring something to the table that you can learn from. And I think
Hmm.
every show, I'm sure you learn something about yourself, about your crowd work, about even the management, how things work in different clubs. Um,
Right,
it's all a business. You have to be able to
right,
promote yourself. You have to
right,
having your following follow you back. Um,
right.
and the merch, you have to order the merch. I mean, there's more that goes into just being on tour, being on the road. There's
Oh,
so
yeah,
much to this than just being on
yeah.
stage for that half an hour, 1 hour, or however long you go.
Oh, so much goes into it. Yeah.
You don't realize it because I used to produce shows. I mean, I still do here and there, but for a long time, I was part of a comedy troupe, and we did shows mostly in Southern California and in Phoenix, and I remember when
Right.
my first client was Kabir Singh, rest in peace, and he had a
Hmm.
show with Angela Johnson in downtown, and I remember like that moment that I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna be part of this, even though I was just a PR person, but it was such a
Yeah.
cool experience that you're
Sure.
in
Sure.
you're in rooms with these big people, and your guys
Yeah.
are now opening for these bigger people, and then they
Yeah.
get signed to bigger agencies because they're in LA.
Right.
I'm in the small
Right.
town of Yuma, but for
Right.
what
Right.
I could do from here and promote from here, it was such a humbling experience because it helped me through a difficult time. Comedy, I remember going
Right. Right.
through a breakup, and then every Friday I would go to this comedy club with or without friends, and I would
Hmm.
start thinking like, hey, maybe one day I'm going to bring this to Yuma, and I did.
Right.
They
That's
weren't
great.
doing they weren't doing shows back then, and that wasn't
Yeah.
then. And then 2012 is when I started the comedy business on my own without any
Hmm.
help. And I said, I'm going to reach out to venues. I'm going to call these comedians. I'm going to DM them. I'm going to figure out a
Right.
way that they'd be willing to come when they're on tour to go to Phoenix or San Diego.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm glad that the community supported that and still support that. And
Yes.
it's been a fun road. I've met some really cool people, and some of the people that I started with, like Samuel Bade, he has his own. He's been on Netflix.
Oh,
Hudson
good.
Dodge went to UC Davis
Yeah.
uh,
Sammy's great.
during the same time as me, and look where he is now.
Yeah.
So really cool people, and they're human, just like us. Like they made it. They put their grit, they put their time, they put their
Sure.
criticism that people give them, and they did it. And same like you, I'm sure you've had things in your journey that you're like, man, I can't believe I went through that,
Right.
or that kind of management or that kind of thing. But you just push through it, and you have to like just get away from those naysayers and say, this is the entertainment world. You're gonna have haters. The haters are the
Yeah.
motivators.
Yeah. Or just obstacles you don't expect. Like you think you've seen everything, and I think I told you I taped my comedy special, which
Hmm.
is we're a couple weeks from being finished with the edit, and then we're going to pitch it. But I'm in a theater, and I had a warped wall behind me, Ninja Warrior. The full
Oh,
13-foot warped wall,
yeah. Yep.
and
You
that was the surprise finale for my comedy special. I was going to climb the wall, hit the buzzers, smoke, pyro. Thank you. Good night. Mic drop from 17 feet. It was kind of tongue in cheek fun, and it follows up on a theme of my act is I want to be an American Ninja Warrior, which is a bit in my
yeah,
act.
yeah, yeah.
And so you think, okay, we did it. We got the wall. We built it inside the theater. We didn't think it was going to work. We got it. We figured out we're going to roll it out in front of people in the encore. We had it in let's run up it right before the show just to make sure we have the blocking in the cameras right,
So,
right.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm running up, and I lunge up to jump and grab it, and feel this loud and hear this loud pop in the back of my heel, and I ruptured my Achilles tendon like just a couple hours
That's
before my taping.
that's
Out
horrible.
of town, I'm in Seattle, so I went to urgent care. And then you got to decide, like, what are we doing? I mean, there was no thought that the show wouldn't go on. That was like not even, it was just, how are we going to do it? Will I be on crutches? Will I not be on crutches? What can I do? So,
Yeah,
and when you're in the urgent care in Seattle, it's
that's
different.
how
If I'm in LA in the
oh,
urgent care and I say I got
you
a
are.
show, they put you in the front of the line because it's show business. In Seattle, they're like, "That's great, but we have other people." I'm like, "But I got a show."
Yeah.
So,
So you were on
uh,
the road that time. You were on the
what's
road that.
that?
Time. You were on the road that.
I was in the taping my special in Seattle. So, somebody finally came in at the last minute. I almost had to leave and go back without even being seen.
Mm-mm.
And because people were, the audience was already sitting down, and I'm still at urgent care, right? So they put a temporary splint on it. I put my dress sock over it, so I came out on the stage with one sock and one shoe, and
Dang.
on crutches, not
Oh,
knowing whether I would need. We ditched the crutches. I figured I could just sit down or limp through it, and but yeah. But it came out great. We changed the name from Lesson Learned, which was what it was going to be, which
mhm.
obviously I didn't. Whatever lesson I need to learn, I had. We changed the name from Lesson Learned to Break a Leg. So
Okay.
So we're making lemonade out of it.
I guess you go by the motto, like, you
Yeah.
know, you have your own motto now.
Mm.
Go with the flow.
What it, no matter how long you've done this, there are things that will happen that you do not expect and are not prepared for. So
Well, that's what they always
just
say before
roll
any.
with it.
That's what they say before any show. Break a leg.
Yeah.
I mean, figuratively, but you did it physically.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
You're
did.
like, not literally. Come on, man.
Oh my goodness. So being on the road, so what is some of the best places that you've been so far?
Oh gosh, I don't know. There's some clubs that I absolutely love. They're always fun to come back to. I love there's theaters that um are amazing. My favorite theater is in the Bay Area. It's called well, it used to be the Luther Burbank Center. Now it's the Wells Fargo Performing Arts in Santa Rosa. Um, Maybe my next special will be there. I don't know. I hope.
Yeah, that's cool.
Um, but yeah, there's just great venues everywhere. There are just so many uh, massive theaters. There's comfortable little theaters. There are
Hmm.
some great comedy clubs that I really enjoy.
Hmm.
Even some corporate events are set up so well.
Hmm.
Not usually, but sometimes they're really great events, unexpectedly good events.
Yeah, yeah. And
I
then
opened in Vegas at the Bellagio. I opened for Train at
pretty
a
cool.
corporate event, and I opened for Styx, and
Hmm.
and I haven't done much opening, but those events are great because there's 1,000 people, and I'm doing like 45 minutes. I have my own full show before this classic band comes out. It's
So cool, so cool. I love those variety type shows because you get a little bit of everything and
yeah.
you're there to enjoy the sound of music and then the power of laughter. I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. And the nice
I
thing
did a
about
corporate event. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
nice thing about you too is you do a lot of clean comedies. So
Hmm.
any age can like what you do.
Yeah, I don't work blue. I mostly just curse at home in front of the kids, but not on stage. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Um, no, yeah, I do curse in my everyday life. I just feel like it became something early on that I took on as a challenge to be able
Hmm.
to write material that could get big laughs, but without working blue.
Yeah.
It makes me, edit a little tighter, work a little
Hmm.
harder for the laughs.
Of
I'm a
course.
glutton. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So we're down to our last question, unless there's something else you want to add. Uh,
No.
what inspires you daily?
Inflation.
Ah, well, it should be
I have
like
to make more money than I had to make last week and the week before. No, I mean, actually, money is a part of it, but it's just trying to get through the day, be a decent person, you know, make some sort of improvement in your life situation or your knowledge or understanding of things. You just try and every way you try and stay alive, you know, make enough money and, spend time with people you love and just enjoy some part of that day along the way. Improve yourself, you know.
absolutely, absolutely. So, given that, what is your favorite quote? Do you have a favorite quote that you live by, or your motto? Like, what's your
I'm sorry,
thing?
favorite quote?
Yeah, do you have a favorite quote?
Uh, so do the old Steve Martin. Yeah, always. Wait, it was never. No. Um,
Make up your own. It's all good.
yeah.
You could
I
say it
don't
from
know.
a song could help you. Maybe maybe your
Yeah,
motivation before you
yeah,
get out.
yeah. Always carry cash. I don't know. I don't, I don't I don't have a single. It's funny because I can juggle, but if you drop five balls at once, I won't catch one of them. And
Yeah,
when that's what's happening in my brain when you say favorite quote, my ADD brain thinks of like 55 quotes at once, and like, oh, there's too many. I can't grab one. So
that's all
um,
good. Do you have like
it's
a
there
do
you
you have a
go.
theme song that you think your life is like? Is that an easier question?
Theme song?
Hmm. I could think of one for you.
Okay. Yeah, please.
Everyone bites the dust. And another one.
I don't even. Okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Wow.
I know it's too much. No.
I guess that's better than whip it real good, I guess.
I can be funny too sometimes, you know.
And everyone bites the dust. Wow.
I don't know.
What you
That's just
got? What are you talking? We bring my divorce into this? Is that what this is?
no, no, no. But no, there's so many good ones. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you just gotta think about it and get back to me. Well,
Okay, I will. I will.
yeah,
So,
well, either way, just kind of keep your brain thinking, you know. Um,
yeah.
but for sharing your tips, and I don't know what that sounded.
There you go. I think
Uh,
Facebook is at Don Friesen and Instagram is Don Friesen Comic. Sorry.
okay, gotcha.
Anyways,
So you could also get his information for all of his shows, what he's about, pictures, whatever you need to connect with him right here at funnydon.com. And he's got a
there you
show
go.
coming up in Yuma, Father's Day weekend.
Hmm.
So check
Yeah.
out check out One Self Consulting. You'll see his flyer right there pinned, and you can scan the QR and buy tickets. So for more information, to watch the replay, you can go to oneselfconsulting.com or find us on YouTube. Thank you so much, Don, for your time. And
Thanks, Natasha.
it's been a pleasure getting to know you. And
Yeah, absolutely.
do something today that your future self is going to thank you for. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. See ya.